Hey guys, it's HerO from DifferenceInSkill, bringing you guys a Spike Brothers analysis video. This is going to be of me just going through each card, old and new, well, most of them, and, helping out people that, are looking to get into Spike Brothers, helping them make card choices, and whether it's worth it or not to put the card in their deck, basically. So here we go. I'm going to start off with the two starters. We have Smart Leader Darkbringer on the left, and we have Mecha Trainer on the right. Smart Leader, when you ride over something, it gets called into a rearguard circle, and then if its attack hits, you can put it into the soul and call something from your hand. It's basically a skydiver with 5k. Yeah. Mecha Trainer, on the other hand, call it out to an empty rearguard circle when you ride over it, and you can have last one. Then retire it and grab a grade 1 or lower Spike Brother. So you can get your Wonder Boy, you can get your Reckless Express if you wanted, you can get Medical Trainer, etc. So that's really good, especially when you're trying, trying to trying to rush on your opponent down early. So you want to, grade 1s, sorry, those boosters, early, so you can deal the maximum amount of damage as possible. So Mecha Trainer helps in that. What does Darkbringer do? -1 when you put it into Soul and then call something. Yeah, no, I mean, it still helps you get more attacks off, because you can call something where it was before, but you -1 yourself, and that's just, I'd rather not -1 myself and get a Wonder Boy. So yeah, Mecha Trainer is the preferred starting Vanguard. Smart Leader, Darkbringer is just a really bad card. So now we have the stand trigger. The stand trigger. Now, why is the stand trigger? Is it good or is it bad? Should I bother with it? I've tested it, and let's just go with the facts. Let's start off by deciding what we should take out. Do we take out critical triggers? Well, you're trying to rush your opponent down as fast as possible. Critical triggers kind of help you do that. They deal that extra damage, which is what you're trying to do. So taking out critical triggers is probably not the best idea. Do we have heal triggers? Heal triggers are bad, right? Well, no, heal triggers are actually kind of good. They help you heal. They're kind of good. They're heal triggers, so probably don't want to take those out either. What about draw triggers? Yeah, draw triggers. They're only 5k shield. Stands are 10k. That makes them so much better. Well, actually, draw triggers are kind of good. When you damage check one, you get a free card to your hand. Even if you drive check one, cards to your hand, that allows you to keep up with the fodder cards that you need to use Demonic Lord Emperor Dudley's effect. So, if you draw into good cards, like, Wonder Boy, Reckless Express, etc., cards that allow you to rush your opponent down, drawing cards is kind of good. So what do we do? What do we take out? Well, the answer is nothing. You don't run stand triggers. The stand trigger, I mean, it sounds like kind of like a paradox, because you're like, we're trying to rush my opponent down, but the card that allows me to stand something to attack again is no good. Explain. Okay, I'll explain. Stand trigger, the reason the stand trigger is not the best choice, other than the fact that the other triggers are better, which should actually be enough, but I'm going to go a step further, is the fact that it requires prior commitment to it, okay? Well, let me tell you why. Let's say that my field is, my Vanguard is Demonic Lord Dudley Emperor, of course. I have 2 Juggernauts on the side. I have 2 Medical Managers on the side. And I have a Wonder Boy, boosting my Emperor to hit for good numbers in 21k. So let's say this is my field, right? Right? Say so to get the stand trigger, the play here is I want to stand my boosters, right? In order to stand my boosters means that they already have to be rested, right? So I attack for Soul Blast, attack for 23 on the Vanguard. Now, unless my opponent is at 5 damage, then this would be fine. They would be like, okay, I need 15, okay, take 15, and then I tag out. Then I do same thing on this side, attack for 23 on the Vanguard, and they're like, okay, wow, another 15, that's kind of a lot. It tags out. Then I attack with Demonic Dudley Emperor. I call back the 2 Juggernauts, and I get a stand trigger. Oh, that's good. I get to stand this and then power to this, because this now has a boost. Then I get something else, etc. Why is that bad, though? Look at this play. That was a good play. The thing about this play, though, is that it's situational as fuck. Because your opponent needs to be at 5 damage. You need to get that stand trigger. Or else then you're just... I mean, you get critical trigger here. Yeah, that's good. You deal 2 damage. You get a draw trigger, no free cards. You get a heal trigger, you heal. Now, stand trigger here, this is the best possible scenario for us to get a stand trigger. With at 5 damage, they've already calculated how much shield they need in order to survive, and then you fuck that shit up with a stand trigger. You know, this is not a bad play, but the thing is, it's situational. Let's say that my opponent isn't at 5 damage. Let's say my opponent is at anything but 4 damage. 5 damage, sorry. I attack with this for 23 on their Vanguard. They'll just take it. Why would they guard this? Why would they guard? There's no point in guarding this. There's no need to guard this. I'll just take it. And then Soul Blasting goes away. And then you attack again. And then Soul Blasting goes away. So they only guarded... They didn't guard the attack where they would have guarded 15. And instead, you're going to call them back. And now they need to guard these 2 and the Vanguard. But then this is only 10. This is only 10. And if you don't get that stand trigger, which might remind you there are only 4 in the deck, then you just screwed up. Because instead of being able to do this, attack for 10, just force a 10 out, force a 10 out, and then once they're at 5 damage, because if they weren't at 5, they'll most likely be at 5 at this point. Then you attack with the Vanguard, put 2 cards in the soul, and you call this, and now they need 15 and 15. So beforehand, they would just take a 15, but now they need to take the 10 or guard it, and then they have to guard the 15. So basically, what you were doing by committing to the stand trigger is allowing your opponent to get away with less guard. And that's not what you want to do in Spike Brothers. Not what you want to do in Spike Brothers. Having to commit so hard to this stand trigger is not worth the deck space, other than the fact that all the other triggers are better. That one situational play where I showed you that he was at 5 damage, and I could have, just attacked with everything, and then I get a booster, and then I got to stand my booster. Most likely, that's already overkill. The 5 attacks, if he's at 5 damage, the 5 attacks were already probably going to kill him. Because he requires 65k shield in order to block everything. Getting that stand trigger is just overkill. That makes it that they need 70k instead of 65k. But really, when is that going to be the case? So the stand trigger, because of the above reasons, is not worth running, in my opinion. In my tested opinion, to be honest. In the Spike Brothers. So now we go to the grade 1s. Grade 1s. Perfect Guard. The Perfect Guard, it's... I'm up in air about it. Like I said in my deck profile, I don't know if I'm going to be running them or not. For now, I will be. But it's such a rush deck that it actually works so well that, I mean, you obviously don't want to call this ever. But sometimes you do. So you need to call something, for example, like for Field Driller's requirement. So calling a Perfect Guard, not always makes me feel the best. So... Perfect Guard, you can run 4, you can run 3. To be honest, it's really, in this deck, and in this deck alone, in my opinion, it's okay to not run 4 Perfect Guards. Some people may disagree, like Alice, but I've played no Perfect Guard spikes, and I'm liking it. Cyclone Blitz, it's 6k, and it's bad. Its effect is, Soul Blast 1, it gains 3k when it attacks. That's no good. And you don't need a 6k booster, and we don't need that 9k up. I mean, no. Cyclone Blitz is not good anymore. Before it was only basically ran as a filler, basically. We've got Commander Gary Gannon. He's an Airmo clone. Another 6k, but it's not necessary. It's not necessary to run this. You don't want to... I mean, fodder cards should not be ditched for Airmo clones. They should be ditched for Demonic Lord Emperor Dudley's effect. So that's not necessary. This card is not necessary, so you don't need to run it. It's also weak in the early game. It's not 7k, it's 6k, so it's easily guardable. And it's not particularly useful, like I said. Medical Manager, obviously a beast, 7k, Soul Charge, Soul, gives you Soul. Definitely run this, at least 3 I would say. Really good card, and it's 7k, what's not to love? Gyro Slinger, another 7k, but is it good? I would not run this card, and for the reason why is because your Counterblast is already lined up to use 1 for Mecha Trainer and 4 for Dudley Emperor if need be. Using a Counterblast for this card will actually just fuck that up. Not only that, but I can't really think of a situation where you would want to use this card to hit good numbers. It's already 7k, everything in the deck goes well with 7k. You have 9ks. And to be honest, to boost Field Driller and Dudley Emperor, you should probably be using a Wonder Boy that's already 8k. So there's no need for this, to be honest. So yeah, I would not run this. Maybe one, maybe, but not even. So yeah. And last grade one I have, Reckless Express. Bracky Juggernaut clone, 7k, boosts. It hits hard, it boosts hard, and it's awesome. You know, this on a Wonder Boy, make 15 with its effect, Soul Blast 1, hit for 20, easy aim. Tags out, and then you can call another Juggernaut in its place to swing for another 16, so yeah. Good plays, this card is really good. I would run at least 3, but I run 3 right now. Depends if you play Perfect Guard or no Perfect Guard in your spikes. Definitely 4 if you don't run Perfect Guards. So yeah, now grade 2 is Field Driller. I've already said this card is God. Turn 2 only, use Mecha Trainer, get Wonder Boy, and then you swing for 15, and then they either have to minimum guard and hope you don't get a trigger, take it, and then you draw a free card, or they guard for 15. And carding for 15 turn 2 is kind of good. So definitely good. Past turn 2, it's basically used for fodder for Demonic Lord, or you just 5k guards. So I would run at least 3, to be honest, because you want to draw into it. The reason why 3 is because you want to draw into it for turn 2, because after that turn 2, it's no good. So 3. Zachary, it's a decent card. It's okay. It's not the best card in the world. It has to hit, and when it hits, Soul Blast, and then you draw a card, and it returns to the deck. It's okay for you know, giving you space to set up for Demonic Lord Emperor Dudley plays. You know, call a Bracky or a Juggernaut next turn or something in its place. I mean, it's basically just an alternate to Panther, because Panther, I mean, this card is also pretty static because it has to hit. But Panther, it's 10k and it's unnecessary with all the 7k boosters we have, and this plus a 7k booster makes 16k. So no need for this. I mean, no need for Panther. So I run this instead, and it's not bad. I run 3, but I personally want to bring it down, so I recommend no more than 2. Dudley Douglas. What happened to this card? I thought this card was good. This, along with Dudley Daisy, which I do not have on me, unfortunately. So Dudley Daisy, these 2 cards have the same effect. Dudley Daisy is a grade 1, 7k. When she's called during the battle phase from the deck, so through Demonic Lord Dudley Emperor, you can counterblast 1, gains 5k. Now this card's had the same problem as Gyro Slinger had, where your counterblast is already lined up very well, and if you use one of these effects, then it just kind of messes you up. And Dudley Douglas is also really good. You will really want to keep them in the deck to be able to use this effect. Otherwise, it's just a 7k vanilla. I mean, 9k vanilla. But, you know, we have cards such as Zachary, Field Driller, Bracky, that are a lot better alternatives to Dudley Douglas because they actually help you speed up the deck during the early game. Like, you want to pressure hard, like, during the early game. So, this card actually doesn't help you during the early game. These cards do. You draw a card, you know, you power up. You know, they make your opponent guard, etc. So, these cards are actually good. As grade 2s, so there's actually no room for Douglas. In terms of Dudley Daisy is a 7k, same thing as effect as this one when it's called during the battle phase. From the deck, you counterblast, gains 5k. It's actually not bad. I mean, it's a 7k booster, and that's always good. So I would maybe run 1 or 2 of Daisy, but I wouldn't actually run Dudley Douglas because there's actually no room for him now. Before I said that I preached about Dudley Douglas, but I tested it and I just never liked it. So Dudley Daisy, Dudley Douglas, no Dudley Douglas, maybe a couple of Daisies, especially if you don't run perfect guards in your Spike Brothers, then it's a Dudley Daisy's fine. Lastly, grade 3 is really quick. I know I'm speeding through this video, but that's because my iPod's battery is almost dead. So Demonic Lord Dudley Emperor, obviously limit break, kind of good. You know, it's a little good. Oh, I don't have my skydiver. Hold on. Whoops. I dropped the iPod. Okay, so back. So yeah, Demonic Lord Dudley Emperor. Good card, you know, good card. Allows you to superior call 2 things. Sorcerer's 2 cards from your hand, so you attack with stuff, tag it back into the deck, and you just call 2 new things with the Demonic Lord Dudley Emperor. 8 times out of 10, it's going to be a Juggernaut, because these things can swing for good numbers by themselves. So Juggernaut, you know, good card, you know, also as well. So run 4 for Skydiver. Do I run Skydiver anymore? No. You don't run Skydiver. Other than the fact that there's no room because you're already running 4 Demonic Lord and 4 Juggernauts, it's just a bad card. Like, I attack, it hits, yeah, -1 into hopefully a Juggernaut, or else anything else is going to be hitting for pitiful numbers without a boost. Juggernaut can strike for 16, I mean, that's cool and all, but it's just not worth the deck space. It's just not worth the deck space. Basically, we've already cramped our grade 2s. We're already running 8. We actually don't want to run any more than 8, even though we do have fodder cards. grade 3s are no good for us in the early mid game because we can't call them because we're not grade 3 yet. So yeah, that's where grade 2s and grade 1s come in. They're much better out in that during that time of the game. So yeah, Skydiver not really good anymore. It was barely good before, only because we had nothing else. For Juggernaut, good shit. For Demonic Lord Emperor, good shit. Oh, like dying here. So yeah, that's the deck. Or no, that's not the deck. That's the cards. Well, that was the deck, but that wasn't the deck. So yeah, that was just a quick explanation video, kind of analysis video of all the cards that are available to Spike Brothers now, which is a fair amount now. If you guys have any questions, any comments, anything, put it in the comment section below. I will take a look at it because I'm checking constantly our YouTube. So yeah, you guys have anything to add or to say or anything, comment section below. This is HerO from DifferenceInSkill. I'm finally getting videos out. Thank you for watching. HerO's out.